So we're looking at Stardust. He's got 2 scout cubes out on the map, but they're heavily damaged. And he is going to be feeling a little bit of pressure here because of these generics. These frigates are really doing a good job of putting a lot of pressure on him. Nonetheless, Stardust has managed to do a little bit of mining that his opponent has not. He is losing sort of the offensive game at the moment, as he's just not fielding sufficient numbers, and here Stardust is going to end up losing this resource assimilator if he doesn't watch out. These generic refits coming in and should be sufficient numbers to take this out, as it is already down to about 50%. There's no offensive ships in the vicinity, and this guy is actually moving quite fast. Looks to be moving faster than these medium range. The Borg collectors are rather speedy as far as collectors go. He's just trying to get within range of that starbase, and another scout cube makes it out there, and just barely, looking at about 5%, 10%. What a save. Stardust doing an excellent job of just really saving as much as possible, taking almost no ship losses. Good micro on his part. We can see here that Drrrr actually also doing a good job of not losing any ships. Going to make use of this green nebula here and use it as a mini recharge repair station. So we have the scout cube actually pressuring on the middle turrets, and this is the one thing about the Romulan turrets, is they're not very strong. You can see that they don't have a lot of defense, they don't have a lot of offense, so these scout cubes can actually just take this out. I wonder if he had any other help out there, but a good job. Stardust is slowly whittling away at what is this sort of strong position for the Romulans at the moment. Nonetheless, the Romulans, you can see, are feeling quite comfortable with their not being pressured in their main base at all, and got these 4 frigate refits here, able to apply pressure. So you can see that nonetheless Stardust is feeling pressure, but he is managing to keep his ships alive and doing the extra mining. This starbase providing the cover around this collective uplink. This is the one thing that if you're a Borg player, you always want to make sure that your uplink is protected, and do not actually start building it if it is not protected and it is out of if it is out of range of some offensive forces such as your starbase. It can become a very vulnerable and very juicy target for the opponent. So here we have a 4 versus 4 here. These scout cubes are taking a little bit of damage, but they are going to end up getting a kill if they go into this nebula. This is actually going to decloak, and oh, they are so close. The thing about this nebula, though, the Borg do not want to engage in here. That shield regeneration effect. Wow. Okay, so losing a probe. This nebula does absolutely nothing for the Borg and has a wonderful shield regen rate. And you can see just how fast that shield regen is. Stardust is wanting to take on take the ship out, but he just doesn't have it. I don't know why he's still engaging here at the moment. It's going to end up taking a lot of damage, not doing any damage in return. And we can see that over here in the left-hand side, while that raiding was going on, Drrrr is actually making a raid on Stardust's expansion. This is going to be a good move by Drrrr. He's finding himself completely unopposed. And here we have Stardust making another push on this disruptor turret, trying to take out the middle, trying not to let Drrrr get a foothold there. And here comes the frigates and the scout cubes, making use of the fact that they are very fast ships. getting out of there, just getting out of range of these frigate refits. You can see that Stardust has basically just ignored ignoring this rain attack on his resource assemblers, and he is going to find that he is actually going to make it out of this. The Rains are now distracted by the scout cubes. These Rains actually should have gone ahead and focused fire on this one resource assimilator, and somehow Stardust getting just a little bit of extra resources out of that one resource assim, almost dead. Wow, Drrrr actually ignoring the almost dead resource assimilator, trying to chase the cubes into this Matura Nebula. Wow, okay, so Stardust making just absolutely the best use that he possibly can out of his ships. Getting just absolutely everything he can out of this. So these Borg ships hanging out in this Matura Nebula, these ships have to be right on top of one another in order to attack each other. However, in the process, one of these frigates is actually weapons is disabled. You can see up here that the Rains actually were successful in taking out the expansion, not before. However, Stardust was able to decommission and has actually moved one of these out of the way. And in the meantime, a sphere has made it onto the board, and now this is going to change the tide of the battle. Stardust was before looking with just these very injured scout cubes. Nonetheless, now the tides have turned. This is going to be a regen and a an energy-sucking sphere. So this guy is now going to be able to waltz in here, pretty much soak up a little bit of the damage with the scout cube. It's going to be able to move the scout cube back. It provides a little bit of extra DPS, and now the sphere is moving in, and this sphere is going to really be able to take on pretty much all of his stuff here. Now, Stardust is doing an excellent job of microing things away, moving this scout cube again, just getting away with everything. So here we have the Romulans going after this probe, able to take out the probe, but as a trade-off, I don't know if that's exactly what they wanted. And that rain is and I was expecting a decloak. Nonetheless, it didn't happen. And here we see that the sphere is trying to tank all of these ships and is actually slowly getting beat up. It is not going to be able to. It needs to finish off something, or it needs to run out of here. These Romulans are going to just basically kite this sphere by retreating and repairing. At this point, you can see that the sphere is out of energy over here and is not going to be able to sustain the attack. So a probe for, I believe it was a Spectre, or I'm sorry, a frigate. Wow, and another sphere making its way, totally turning the tide, and Drrrr feeling the pressure. All of a sudden, this extra sphere coming in, it is also a regen sphere. And so this is actually a little bit of an odd configuration. These, I'm betting that Stardust was expecting to find Laval's and with heavy energy metaphasic disruptor ships, and where the energy-sucking Borg configuration, sphere configuration, would have helped him out a lot. Nonetheless, this is still a good, strong build with the sphere. Possibly a beam 3 regen sphere would have helped him out just a little bit with a more tanking. And so here we have the spheres coming out onto the middle of the battlefield, really making their presence felt. These basically mobile bases are slowly taking over. Now we can see that the remnants of Stardust's early skew fleet is moving up onto put some pressure onto Drrrr. Now Drrrr, with a sizable fleet actually in the process, has managed to not lose many of the ships, keeping them alive is going to be able to at least fight off this Borg presence. But this is really, really good for Stardust at the moment. The Borg